Yet another way that you might see these percent problems is like these. 8.7 is 30% of what number? I kind of wrote these weird. Let me write it up here. If you do the same technique that I've been doing on the previous two videos, you're going to be fine. There do exist other techniques out there. The textbook actually uses a different technique, one that I'm not a big fan of. It involves figuring out where the is and the of and doing something over 100, whatever. I find that this is a much more reliable method, and it's just more succinct. It's just involving taking 8.7 becomes 8.7, is becomes equals, 0.3 becomes 0.3, of becomes times, and my unknown becomes, well, my unknown. So it's just rewriting this, and then it's just a matter of solving this equation. So if I have 8.7 equals 0.3 times x, if I want to get rid of that 0.3, I'm going to divide both sides by 0.3. Now, this does rely a little bit on you being able to solve these equations, but hopefully, again, you've seen me doing something similar to this enough times that you should be comfortable with it. Getting rid of that getting rid of multiplying by 0.3, you accomplish by dividing by 0.3. So I have 8.7 divided by 0.3. I can just ask my calculator what that says. 8.7 divided by 0.3 gives me 29. And I get 29 equals x. Now, you'll notice this is just some number. This is not asking a percentage or anything like that. The only conversion there, the only moving my decimal place around, I already encountered. It was when I rewrote this 30% as 0.3. 0.30 if you want to have that 0 on there. It's not really necessary. But yeah, the only time you're going to be moving your decimal place there is when you're introducing or getting rid of a percent symbol. In this case, I was getting rid of the percent symbol, but from then on, there was no percents to deal with at all, so it didn't make sense to have to move my decimal place anymore. We can do the same thing if we translate this one. 30% is 0.3 of what number? That's x, is 8.7. You can see this is the same problem. It's just flipped around. And find a number such that 30% of it is 8.7. So a number is the it here. So we get 30% of the number that we're trying to find is 8.7. You can see that's the exact same as what happened, what my translation was there. A lot of this is just kind of trying to figure out what's meant by the English that's being used. I think math gets a bad rap, especially when it comes to word problems. It's not the math that's unclear, it's the English that's unclear most of the time, in my opinion. Alright, 60% of what number, of what amount is equal to $5.67. $5.67, whatever. Alright, so I'll start with my translation. 16% I'll write as 0.16, because I want to just move my decimal place over and get rid of that percent. Of becomes times. What amount is unknown, so that's b the x. Then my is becomes an equal sign. Well, is equal to, actually, that whole thing becomes my equal sign. And then 5.67. Alright, well, to solve this, I need to get rid of that multiplying by 0.16. So I'll divide both sides by 0.16. This stuff cancels out over here, and I can just ask my calculator, what is 5.76 divided by 0.16? That is 36. Now, you're taking a little bit more of a leap of faith by just trusting the math on this one. So it's a good idea to kind of look back at it and figure out, does this intuitively make sense? And so reread this problem with putting this 36 in place of the what amount. So I said 16% of 36 is $5.76. That sounds roughly reasonable to me. 10%, so 10% of this would be $3.60. Well, we're talking about more than 10% because we have 16% here. And, you know, $3.60 going up to $5.76, it's a little bit more than, no, it's about 50, yeah, a little bit more than the $3.60 that 10% would give you. Again, the point of these, using a 10% is just because it's really easy to kind of calculate and get a good feel for the magnitude of the number. Alright, if I say $2 is, so $2 2 equals, notice I didn't even have to read the whole thing before I start translating. I did $2 is 8% of the cost. So 8% is 0.08, because I had to move my decimal place 2 places to the left there. Of becomes times, and the cost, the cost is unknown here, so that'll be X. $2 is 8% of the cost. Find the cost. Okay, well, I need to divide both sides by 0.08, because that's the thing I want to get rid of. 2 divided by 0.08 is 25. The cost must be $25. And figuring out, okay, again, some sort of intuition here. We're talking about something that's just under 10% of the cost, because I'm describing 8% of the cost. Well, 10% of $25 would be $2.50. 8% of it would be a little bit less than that, and $2 sounds reasonable to me.